Hello there, and welcome to Liberal Stories Debunked by the Hidden Valve. So back when I was in high school, I heard an interesting story from a history teacher about an employer who doubled his employees' salaries, and it ended up doubling his profits in doing so. The story goes as this. Late in 2011, an employee of the tech company Gravity felt that he was being underpaid for his work. When the owner of Gravity walked past Haley, the employee, Haley lashed out at the owner. He claimed that Price, the owner, was ripping him off, and angrily Price replied that Haley's pay was simply based off market rates. Furiously, Haley replied that data doesn't matter. He knew Price's intentions were bad, and that he constantly bragged about how financially stable he was. That just translated into Haley not making enough to live a decent life. Naturally, Price was taken back. He left the room, and he started to think. He thought he was normally very nice and generous with his employees, but clearly not enough. So Price decided that he was going to raise the minimum wage of his company to $70,000 per employee. So how much did this cost Price? Well, Price had 120 employees. He used to pay them $35,000 per year, and it costed him $4.2 million to have all these employees. He raised his price to $70,000 per year, meaning it cost him $8.4 million per year, an extra $4.2 million. Price claims he paid for this by reducing his own salary from $1.1 million to $70,000. However, even with this, he'd still need to cough up $3 million to pay all his employees the $70,000 he promised. So how did Price really pay for this? Well, Price simply said that doubling his employee's salary doubled his company's profits. However, part of the story that you don't hear is that Price ended up having to sell 2 homes and almost all his properties to maintain this salary bonus. Furthermore, Price received a lot of free media attention. His story was told on NBC News and the New York Times. He also received 500 million views on social media. Ironically, profits soared after this, and not so much after he doubled his employee salaries. So perhaps my teacher forgot a few details when she was telling his story, but what she could have done instead of telling us a world of fantasy stories about jobs is given us actual job advice. So this is what I'm going to do for you. So remember back when Haley was yelling at Price for being underpaid? Well, in real life, Price would have said, "There's the door. Don't like it? Get out. There's other people willing to take your job." So in real life, take note that this is not how you get a raise. Most bosses aren't as lenient as Price was at being yelled at, and most likely they are not willing to sell both their homes and almost all their property to cater to every single one of your needs. However, it is not immoral to ask for a raise, but when you do, be sure to be mature, respectful, and dignified, and respect a reasonable and well thought out response. Today you learned how not to demand, and how to benefit without coming across as rude, because likely in your lifetime your employer isn't going to become nationally famous and be able to double your salary. I'm sorry, but it isn't realistic.
Created using Powtoon.